You know those moments in life that just shake you to the core? Well, I just had one of those moments. I woke up at 3 in the morning, a blubbering mess from a dream I had. And the dream was about a family who was killed in a car accident over 40 years ago. It was a mother, I think 8 kids were in a station wagon with her, and she was taking them to school. And she went over a railroad crossing and was hit by a train. I think only one of the children survived. I can't remember all the details because I was just a kid at the time myself. But in my dream, I was at the cemetery where the family is buried, and I was walking across the stones, looking at each name on the stone, and all of a sudden I hear children's voices crying, and they kept crying, and all of a sudden they yelled out, "Don't let them forget about us, don't let them forget about us." And then I woke up. And I don't know why I would have this dream. I'm not a psychic, I'm not a medium, I'm not anything like that. But for some reason, these kids are trying to give me a message, maybe to keep their memory alive. So now I'm on a mission. I think I need to do all the research I can, and I'll report back to you. My search began downtown in Spokane, Washington. I went to the local news station to see if by any chance they had video archives of news broadcasts back in 1970. And unfortunately, back in 1970, videotape did not exist. Therefore, all of the newscasts were broadcast live. So either you saw the news that day or you didn't, and you'd never see it again. So my next stop was the local newspaper, and I was going to try to find the archives from the newspapers, but all they would give me was a phone number, and nobody ever answered, so I didn't have any luck there. So my next stop was the Spokane Main Library in downtown Spokane, and I obtained a wealth of information there. Really nice gal took me to the archives in the microfilm. So she set me up at one of the microfilm machines, showed me how to use it, make copies, and I found all of the stories in that era about the family. And the first story is railroad crossing, is site of accident, fatal to 8. It shows pictures of the railroad crossing. And the next was death of 8, saddens regions, and it shows pictures of the kids. And then the next story was the Krank Family rites today, their last rites, a funeral. And the city of Spokane was so devastated that everyone started a trust fund to help the father pay for all the medical expenses of the surviving daughter and for funeral expenses, etc. So the next story was family's tragedy stirs offer of aid. And I think the most unbelievable contribution was by Hazen and Yager Funeral Home in Spokane Valley. They came together and paid for all 8 funerals, which is amazing. And the next story, donations continue. Krank Fund tops 10,300. Back in 1970, 10,300 was quite a lot. Another story, car train crashes must be prevented, and referring to the Krank family. And then the last thing I found was May 8th, 2 days later, and it was all 8 obituaries of the family. I can't even imagine, after such a catastrophic occurrence, how a father and a surviving daughter could go on. But apparently they did. They still live somewhere in Spokane. My heart goes out to them. My next stop will be the road that the family's house was on, and I'm going to follow their path to the railroad crossing where they met their death. So that's where I'm headed to next. Okay, I'm just leaving the street where the Krank family left to go to school, and we're driving down to Harvard. This is Harvard Road, and the railroad tracks are right to the right. So they didn't drive very far to go to school on their way. This is Harvard Road. And this is where the Krank family met their fate, at this railroad crossing. St. Joseph Cemetery in Spokane, Washington, actually Spokane Valley, and this is the final resting place of the Krank family. I'm going to take you to where I had my dream along the stones of the family, which is right over there. This is Catherine Krank, the mother. She was 36 years old. Daughter Rhonda, the oldest, 17 years old. Daughter Audrey, 16. Son Kenneth, 14. Son Dana, 13. Son David, 11. Twin daughter Anita, 6. And twin daughter Barbara, 6. Here I am standing by the Krank family memorial, and in the background you can see the train still going today on the same track. Just down to the left in the distance is where the railroad crossing is. So this brings me to the end of my journey. I think what the Krank family wants me to remind everybody is their memory is still alive. We will remember them. And I'm sure they want us to keep one thing in mind. We need to cherish life, because you never know when it can end in an instant.